How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. My name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm working with one of my friends, Cloudy and YuGiOh, and we're going to be going through the ban list on some hot takes that we have just to see what goes on.
Woo, ban list. Yeah.
All right. So, out of this whole thing, I think the forbidden list is literally going to be not much for this set. Uh, Personally, to me, I don't think it's going to be anything because, well, only things that can really effectively hit without really killing more decks is slight hit to Ryziel, hit Mitsurugi, and Fiendsmith, if they even hit that. But
Yeah, but I feel like Konami's not gonna not ban something, right? Like feel like there's gotta be something on there, even if it's like a non-meaningful one.
yeah,
I mean, I could see them theoretically hitting Droll. Um, I could see them theoretically taking a limited card to ban, but I can't think of one off the top of my head.
well, anyways, speaking of those three, out of those three, what do you see getting hit from either currently at three or any of the others down to banned? Do you see anything in really Ryziel or anything that would be hit to banned?
Ryziel, I mean, realistically, the only thing you hit from Ryziel to knock the deck farther, there's no like one card you can hit in Ryziel to make it significantly weaker without like destroying it. Like obviously the easiest ones like Detonator. You take out Detonator, game over. Um, they could hit Star, but I don't see them doing that, and they semied the rest, so they might limit one or two of the main deck, but I highly doubt that.
See, if we're gonna match the OCG, we would put sword to one. However, I don't think they're gonna put sword to one. What I could see them doing is putting Ryziel Cross to forbidden, just as a way to prevent the recursion, to prevent that additional monster negate, so you can get Nibiru by the time you get there. I don't see them really limiting duo drive or really hitting duo drive in any function because it's already dealt with by either Droll or by Ghost Ogre. Because if you Ghost Ogre Duo Drive, it does kind of kill the card in general.
Yeah, I agree.
The other one that I can definitely see them doing for Ryziel itself, but we'll come back to that later on, is either Sword or X. But we'll go back over that later on. For any other cards like Mitsurugi, Fiendsmith, do you feel like any of those are going to be hit to banned?
I don't think they'll really touch Mitsurugi. Um, I don't see a massive reason because realistically, Mitsurugi has a pretty good, from my understanding, play by working it with Ryziel. So I feel like that might be a way they hit Ryziel is by going after Mitsurugi, but I don't see that happening.
That's fair. We also got to take into the account that we're looking at the new deck building set coming out soon in August. So K9 is going to be a huge deal. Yummy's going to be a bigger one, and so is Dragon Tail. So out of that, I feel like they might go ahead and hit. I forget what the card is. It's something with the swamp. King of the Swamp. I feel like they might actually hit that card ahead of time to prevent more shenanigans with Dragon Tail. But
I
that
mean,
once again, that's a far stretch.
I couldn't see them hitting King of the Swamp. I let's see, Dragon. I don't know enough about Dragon Tail. I don't think K9. I can't see them doing a preemptive hit on any of it. I think if they hit either any of those three decks, it will be after it's released. It might be shortly after, like they did with like Pearly, or Superior Samurai, but I can't see them preemptively hitting one of those because then it's gonna lower their profits they make off the actual deck build pack.
That's fair. All right. So do you think they're going to limit any of the cards they've, or well, not limit, but ban any of the cards they've limited or semi-limited? So such as Triple Tactics Talent, Call by the Grave, Cross Out Designator. I honestly don't see them hitting anything like that, but they've done it in the past. Personally,
I mean, Cold Buy's been at 1 for so long. I don't see them changing that. I feel like Crossout is going to end up in the same kind of purgatory that Cold Buy is in. Because I feel like that one they were either going to fully ban it or it's just going to sit at 1 for a while. Um, I don't say need to ban Triple Tack. Um, like I said, I do see them possibly limiting or banning Droll. That's the only hand trap in the game currently that I see any reason to do anything with.
I'm gonna put Droll in the ban section. I really do hope they ban it. That is more of a hot take for me. I hate that card with a passion. Uh, but yeah, I definitely agree. I could see them banning Droll.
I see it. I think Droll, if anything, will be limited, but I do hope it gets banned.
That's fair. All right, on to limited. I feel because I don't feel like anything else is really gonna be banned because if they ban anything in Fiendsmith, they're gonna probably hit Lacrima, in my opinion, or the Link one. But will they do it because the Megaton reprints here soon? I doubt it. Same
I
with
I don't see them hitting Fiendsmith right now, at least not directly.
it's fair. With Malice, I don't see them really hitting anything outside of Dormouse, probably to 1, because I don't see where this is going to be all that effective at 2. The deck can still get up there in combo, but it's not really accomplishing any wins. They do see it as a large portion of it still coming into play, but I don't think that they're going to really change that because Dormouse at 1 has been kind of hindering the entire board game in OCG as well.
Yeah, and I mean in both Ryziel and Dormouse and Malice rather, Mitsurugi too. There's no like one card you can point at to say this is the unfair one. This is the one that's breaking the game. I mean, obviously Mitsurugi, the ritual spell would kind of kill it. The purple ritual would probably do some damage, but realistically, there's no like one card you can super hit without it being an issue.
See, when it comes to Mitsurugi, I feel like they would hit the white ritual mainly because of the fact that it has the capability of letting you summon one by revealing it. It's a once per duel effect, but it does get you going, especially if it's not ashed. With that capability, it can also get you into your Orcus combo, as some people are actually being able to do, or in other cases, we're seeing with where it works very well with Ryziel in other decks, to where it just enables a lot more play for the long game when it comes to this card. So I feel like if they do limit anything, it would probably be Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi. I know I butchered that name, I always do. But I feel like that one would probably be put to 1 or ban if they're going to do anything, because without that, it's not as potent.
I mean, I could see that. I'm still of the mindset that they aren't really going to hit Mitsurugi too much. If they do hit it, I see them hitting one of the main deck monsters, and it doesn't really do anything.
Fair. As for Ryziel, I feel like they're going to hit Sword just to basically clean up what they did in OCG as well. Sword, it's either going to be Sword or X, because one way or the other, you're getting a search. X is more conditional, Sword is just on summon. So if they're really wanting to stop mid combo, they would probably hit Sword to 1 to force you to play an additional star, in my opinion.
I could see that.
Now, getting
And while we're on the limited, I am curious what your thoughts. Summon Sork now has the errata. Do you think they're gonna do what they did with AFD, where they bring her back to limited, then go to 3 next list, or do you think she'll come straight to 3?
So this is the one thing that I do think they will finally release is Summon Sorceress. They might also release Nightmare Goblin because they just did that in Japan for the OCG. I feel like those two cards will be able to come back because Nightmare Goblin's not accomplishing anything in Master Duel right now, and it wouldn't really affect anything. Woo, you get an additional normal summon, you use 2 monsters to get there. That's not really a big deal right now. Summon Sorceress with the errata, it makes it a lot more fair, but I can see where they would. would definitely put it to 1 first before really pushing it past that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure about, like, you haven't fully sold me on Nightmare Goblin, but I do agree. I think Summon Stork is coming to at least 1. Um, it's not that it's unplayable with the errata, but it's to the point where, like, it's not too concerning
That's fair.
anymore.
Well, that's the thing. You do get the additional normal summon. It does help in later games, but a lot of the other formats are releasing Nightmare Goblin. So if it's not released on this list, I feel like it'd be released on the next because we're going from where we're effectively playing on turn 1 to turn 0. With K9, we're able to actually access and start playing during our opponent's turn versus really anything on our actual turn. Even if they interrupt us with hand traps or anything, K9 builds off of that. Dragon Tail has the capability of fusing from deck, just like Fallen of Albaz, and it doesn't really play that much into Droll or D-Shifter. It doesn't really care from what I've seen. Um, at least
I
from...
I can
Oh, go ahead.
I can see that. I I don't know. I feel like there are only so many power cards that Konami's willing to release at once off the ban list. Um, so I think that might be something that is a deciding factor here.
Now, I cannot remember. Is Nightmare Mermaid at 1 or is it banned still?
She is still banned.
So, given that they just released the new Link 1 for Orcus, do you think they're going to release Nightmare Mermaid to 1?
I don't. I think even in a world where they release Goblin, they don't release Mermaid. I think hypothetically Goblin has a chance. I don't think Mermaid has a chance, and they both at the same time definitely don't have a chance. But you know who I do think should come back to at least 1? Dryden. I I don't know who out there is afraid of a normal summon Whiptail for a pop 1 on the opponent's turn at this point when we have Detonator. Um, but if you're out there, come on. It's it's a quick effect pop 1 off normal summon Whiptail. It'll be okay, I promise.
I definitely agree with that. I feel Dryden should definitely come back to 1. If it does not come back to 1, I feel like they're kind of missing a mark here because this would give them the capability of really just either getting rid of Detonator, which they're so afraid of in general, because apparently targeting pops is something that we're scared of in this game, even though we have decks that can combo 1 for 15 minutes. Um, Either way, though, I do agree with you on that. I think in
And
this...
I'm also I also think that at this point Meow Meow could come back to 1 at any point now. Like, I don't get me wrong, prank kids, wombo combo, but realistically, um, there's no longer the Mystic Mind shenanigans. So once again, I get it. It's 2 quick effect Regekis. You have full combo off any one of your starters, but it's 1 Meow Meow. They do it once. I can't see 1 Meow Meow being the difference maker for full power prank kids right now, especially when we're playing Ryziel, because they normal summon a prank kid, you pop their normal summon, they can't do anything. So I think Meow Meow could easily come to 1.
All right, so I got another question for you then. Going off of just some random cards that can come off the ban list, do you feel like that Fiber Jar can finally come off?
No.
Or Or, I knew you were going to say no to that. Block Dragon, given that we're getting the new Gem Knight stuff. It's not really rock that the new Gem Knights do play, but some good rock support to allow Adamantipator and a couple other archetypes to have that capability to recycle and work through that. I feel like, personally, me, Block Dragon can come back to at least 1.
I think Fiber Jar definitely not. I know too many Yu-Gi-Oh players out there who want to get their grubby little hands on a Fiber Jar combo. Um, I don't see a reason for Fiber Jar to ever come back. Block Dragon, in theory, could. That being said, I don't think Block Dragon is coming back on the same list as Meow Mew or as Goblin, because now we're looking at three of like pretty well-known combo extenders. With Goblin obviously giving you that extra normal, Meow Mew allowing you to turn any Prank Kid into a Roxy, which then gives you combo with Adamantipator, and Block Dragon obviously getting you that Search 3. So I I could see it coming back eventually. I don't think it'll be this list.
That's fair. I'll go ahead and remove this one. Uh, but it's still worth a discussion. I do feel like
Yeah,
either
yeah.
way that we will see Nightmare Goblin come back either this list or next list, personally to me.
I do think I think there is a chance if any of the three banned nightmares come back, it would be Goblin.
All right. So, do we want to go ahead and move on to the semi-limiteds, or is there anything that you think that is currently limited or banned needs to come off?
Not that I can think of. I am a semi-limited list hater. I think the semi-limited is a fake list. I think it is not useful really. Yeah, not a huge fan of semi-limits. I don't really think of anything that like maybe we could put like Naturia Tree back to 2 if we're really that afraid of it.
So, here's the thing that I feel like could come back to potentially two. You know how we have Destiny Hero Malicious?
Yeah,
Now, don't kill me.
not rap here. I
I knew that's where you were going. Yeah, I was thinking it was either going to be Rat Pier or we can finally just say heck with it and bring back Dragonic Diagram to two. Uh,
I think Dragonic Diagram over Rapier. I think Rapier deserves to live on the limited list, so that all Zodiac players pay penance for their Tier 0 format.
I mean, to be fair, they will not ever get access to Bravo back unless that card gets a severe errata.
I agree, but I do think the other one could come back to semi-limit. I do think there's a shot in that.
Now, as we've seen where they're moving Yubel cards around, do you think Phantom Yubel will come off the list from 1 to 2?
Maybe. Um, I don't really see a reason why it couldn't.
It would enable a lot of stuff just for the deck to go through. Um, just so the deck can actually play a little bit more.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I am sorry, I completely forgot one of my hot takes for limited. I can see Requiem going to 1 or Fiendsmith Engraver going to 1. That is something I was going to bring up and I completely forgot. Because if they're ever going
Um,
to hit Fiendsmith, I feel like that is the way they would do it, to where we're at 1 there or Requiem.
I mean, it's
Or
definitely not Requiem.
yeah, it's not
Like,
Requiem. Maybe
I mean,
Trap.
that's even then. I mean, the issue is with banning or with limiting Fiendsmith or Fiendsmith Track, whichever one you limit, you replace it with the other copy. So, like, if you limit Track, most people are playing 1 to 2 right now, anyways. So you limit the Fiendsmith Engraver, and they just replace it with more copies of Track.
That's fair.
Um, I don't think there is a way to hit the Fiendsmith engine without doing exactly this, limiting both, or by banning one of the combo pieces. Because realistically, other than exactly Requiem, or not Requiem, Engraver, you're playing one of everything. Like, you're playing the one track, one sequence, one Requiem, one Desiree, maybe one of the Trap. Like, there's no way to hit it without banning something.
Yeah. Well, if they want to keep the current engine, I feel like to make it go through more resources, they would need to get rid of Requiem and ban it completely, but that just stops all combo play, let alone the capability for it to blend into other decks. Uh,
Yeah, that's why I'm convinced that they won't hit Fiendsmith. Like I said, if they do, it would have to be exactly like limit both.
yeah,
But I doubt they're gonna do that. They'll probably limit Engraver, at which point people will just play 3 track.
that is very fair. All right. So kind of got all those out of the way. What do you feel like's coming off to unlimited? Because knowing our luck, it's probably gonna be Black Dragon Collapse Serpent.
Yeah, the black and white dragons are definitely like they've been creeping up the list. Dragon Link's just not there. Um, maybe maybe some poor Dragon Maid player can do something with them.
If I could spell Wyver Burster, that would be great. It's just White Dragon.
I think it's White Dragon, Wyver Burster.
Yep. There we are. I feel
I
like
can also see them putting Masterpiece back to 3.
yeah, that card
Probably not the
has
same list. It's either going to be Diagram or Masterpiece. It's not going to be both, but I do think one of the two will go back up.
well, to be fair, Masterpiece doesn't really accomplish much. Even when you play True Draco at Pure, it literally you ran him at 2 at most. Even then, if you put Dragonic Diagram to 2, what are you doing? You're enabling dinosaur players to be able to have another good way to pop baby. That's it.
Yeah,
Like you're not going to search Masterpiece off a diagram unless you're in a really bad spot or trying to set up some kind of stun board where you don't even have the back row to do it.
yeah. Similarly, I think Protoss could come to 3. Realistically, the only decks that ever, you're playing 1 if you're playing it, so that you can search it. Um,
I
I if it's at 1, it might as well be at 3.
I really wish that card would go back to ban. It locks out so many decks that just play mono setups. Now look at this. Do you feel like Morphing Jar will come back to 3?
Yeah, I don't see a reason for it to stay semied.
All right.
Um,
What about the
for
Pearlies? Like the Pearly
God, I
spells?
hope so. Please, Konami, if you're watching this, please, I will pay. I will max rarity the deck if you give me both my quick play spells back. I will give all my money. I'll pull them. I won't purchase them from anyone. I will buy packs until I max rarity that deck again. Like it very similarly to Ryzeal. Like what do we end on? A towers that can shuffle 3. Come on. I don't see a need. I do think if they I don't think they'll do both. We would probably get Hungry back because Sleepy does allow you to draw 6 and standby, which is a little nutty, to be fair. But I do think Hungry can come back to 3. Sleepy might need to wait a little bit longer. Just because drawing 6 in the opponent's standby phase is kinda stupid.
Fair enough. All right. So, what were you going to say before I interrupted you?
Oh, I had heard from someone about Bonfire, but Bonfire would just boost Ryzeal
No.
back up if we had it at 3. Like, yeah, it's not helping Snake Eye, but it would also boost Ryzeal more than it would really help other decks at this point.
No. No. I even it does help Bonfire or it does help Snake Eye in a lot of ways, but no. Even I play Snake Eye for fun, and I'm even like, if we bring back Bonfire, we're going to see a lot more shenanigans going on with that card in general, especially if they ever release another good Pyro archetype. That's just not a good way of going about it.
Yeah, no, I think Bonfire is fine at 1. The only argument I could ever see to it coming back is the fact that it does have a hard once return makes it slightly less broken than Rhoda, but even then, I do think we're gonna have to wait a little bit on that one.
That's fair. Now, going off of Snake Eyes, I could see them bringing back Poplar to 3, but I can't see them doing Ash. Uh, Mainly from the fact, okay, computer, I see you wanting to mess up in here. Um, I don't see them actually going through and releasing Snake Eye Ash just now off of that. Mainly because that would enable you to run a more frequent engine. The 2-to-2 ratio is great, but if you're putting Poplar back to 3, no one ran him at 3 to begin with. You were running him at 2 at best.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't see them putting him back to 3 immediately after. I think maybe 1 or 2 more ban lists they'll start giving us a little bit back Snake Eye wise, but I don't know. I can't see them giving us back Poplar so quickly.
I can have my hopes.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, I I don't know if there's any other cards that I could see really just coming directly to three from the set.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think there's any real like we kind of hit the big unlimits. Because realistically, not a single card in the semi or unlimited section is really gonna do anything. Um, it's gonna go to three, and some Dragon Link player is gonna cope, and that's about it.
Now, I will say the only thing that I can see that would be different from this list is where Zodiac Barrage and Mathmech Circular can come to two, just like how they're trying to move everything out of limited to more of a semi-limited that has aged over time. Because Mathmechs are not really doing anything. The Circular Engine is seeing a little bit of play, but it's not much in Malice. Zodiac Barrage, you give them an additional card, basically search. I What's Zodiac doing in 2025?
I I could also see Barrage coming back, but not on the same list as Dryden. I think we'll probably get one of the two. Um,
To be
ugh.
fair, it's not really doing anything either way.
It's not, but just the way I've seen ban lists previously, I can't see them doing both. I see them both happening soon. Like neither of them are going to affect the format, but I can't see them doing both on the same list.
That's fair. Either way. All right.
But I don't know, man. I the game sucks. I don't know if like we could sit here for hours talking about what they're gonna put on this list, and we both know that like it's gonna release, and we're all gonna like exhale and move on with our lives. Like, what can they do? You know, like they're definitely not hitting all the Fiendsmith stuff that we want. Um, they're probably not bringing back some of the cards we want them to bring back. I don't know, dog. I'll be happy if any one of these things happen. I'll be happy, but I have lost confidence in the ban list.
No, that's fair. I can definitely agree with you on that point. The ban lists have kind of been kind of lackluster here. I think the last time I was excited when I got to see Thunder Dragon Colossus come off the ban list and go to three. Like that was peak for me. Just having three Colossus. But
the
hey,
The curtain was pulled back when I got like half a format to play Pearly at full power, and they immediately just started smacking it around, and I'm like, well, my favorite deck is no longer playable. And now they're slowly bringing it back just in time for it to not be relevant anymore. So,
so I
you
do.
know, at
That's
this
true.
point.
That's true. I do have some hot takes from some of our friends though. One of them was, will we ever see Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow come back?
uh Possibly. Um I
I feel
I
like
could
it's
see it coming
almost
back after the the next deck build pack comes out, but not before.
same. And then the other one was asking, do we think Malicious is going to be get hit to two given they're going to be releasing new hero support?
No, hot take, Hero's still bad. Um I know exactly who this friend is, and I hope they're listening. Hero's not good, but it's I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one, but Hero, like, we can keep moving Mally up and down that list all we want. It's not it's not doing much.
All right. Well, that's the only two hot takes I got from them. But either way, I think this is just about what we can do for the ban list. This is some hopes, and who knows what we'll actually get off this list, even if we're correct. But either way, I'd like to thank everyone for staying through this, watching, and listening. If you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and visit Cloudy and YGO's channel. He's got a lot of good stuff, a lot of good deck builds. It's a lot of fun. Either way, you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?